Geekazoid.
Movie recommendations and picks and trending topics. Oh my god, Tay and Fizzman, you guys have had a massive weekend, and I'm really surprised that you're here on the stream, to be quite honest. My name is J-Rod, that is Captain Fizzman, and that's Tay below me, Miss Marvel AUS. Thank you so much for tuning in to Geekazoid, the weekly podcast where we chat all things nerdy, pop culture. We love talking about this stuff, and we love having you tuning in live on the stream. We can see that we've got you guys tuning in, which is fantastic. So if you're listening to this live, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you are listening to it live, join the conversation and comment below. And if you're listening to this podcast-wise, whether it's on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we appreciate it as well. Please leave us a 5-star rating. That would be fantastic.
Shout out to the regulars, Tal and Abdullah and Terry. Welcome.
No, they're coming in fresh. Look, little weird guy. Good evening, basically everybody on the stream was at PAX. I wasn't at PAX.
Except for you.
Except for me. I'm wearing my PAX shirt. I was at home vibing off everyone. So thank you everyone that were tuning in and were helping out, sharing the PAX culture. Abdullah's there as well. Hey everyone, good evening. Tal's there. Hey guys, Tal, you looked like you had a great time over the weekend. We also have, this looks like a new one here. Prince Neon Blue Star 2K7. Hello. Nice to meet you guys.
Welcome. And finally Mr. Chris.
Oh,
Cosplay
Chris.
It's the cosplay. Bro, you look like you had an amazing time last night at the Halloween Ends premiere in Sydney. And congrats on your Halloween Ends. Is it a review video? I heard that it's like one of the highest ones. Congrats, Chris. That's awesome. I'm going to check it out probably after this stream. Tay, how are you feeling after PAX? You look like you had an amazing time.
I am so tired. I feel like I need to nap for the rest of the week, but I did have my birthday yesterday, so I couldn't rest. And I've been
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Before you go on, birthday banana. There you go. Happy birthday, Taylor. Yes. Make sure you comment and wish Taylor a massive happy birthday. But sorry, Tay, go for it. You said you had a massive weekend.
Guys. Yeah, so I went out for dinner last night with my whole family, which was really nice. I had Japanese food, so I ate like my body's weight in miso steak. It was delicious. So it was in a bit of a food coma as well. Thanks, little weird guy. Thank you, ads. And thank you, guys. But yeah, so I didn't really do much since PAX. I've pretty much been recovering, really. I'm sure Fizz is even more exhausted than I am with all the traveling that he had to do. But yeah, it was a good day.
Can you just talk me through this photo that you got here from PAX over the weekend? An amazing time. Tell me, what's your cosplay? Who you dressed as, and what was your favorite store booth display over the weekend?
Yeah, so this cosplay, it's from Monster Hunter, the video game, and it's based off the monster Barioth. So, obviously it's quite hard to cosplay a massive monster like that. It's got like huge wings and everything. But yeah, I had a great time. I had so many blisters on my feet. It was horrible. My feet were not happy at the end of the day. Thanks, Tal. But yeah, it was a really fun weekend. There was so much to do. I think that was definitely my favorite con of the year. I'm going to be bold enough and say that was probably my favorite one of the year. They just have so much stuff to do there. Fizz and I got to test out some new games that are coming out and that are in beta mode. So that was very exciting and a lot of fun.
Amazing. Fizz, how about you, mate? PAX, how was your PAX? The return to PAX. I mean, this photo here says it all, to be quite honest. You look like you were so excited to go to PAX. Tell me, how was your weekend?
It was really fun. Also, yes, very tiring. I sort of was... I took advantage of the closeness of where I was staying, and I sort of was like running to and from my hotel if I ever was like, I can't do this anymore. So it's like, go back to my hotel, chill out for a bit, change a cosplay, then come back and get more photos and everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, photos. Speaking of photos, you were rocking. This is a you had to dust the cobwebs off this photo. I
did, yes.
Right?
It's been cosplay, 6 years since I've worn that cosplay.
Oh damn! It still fits good too.
Yeah, it does.
You had did you cosplay on multiple days, or was this the only day?
Yeah, so I cosplayed on Friday and Saturday, and Sunday I was just myself.
You cosplayed as Captain Fizzman, did you?
Yeah. It's funny because some of the Beauty and the Geek people were there, and one of the people took a photo of like these Beauty and the Geek cosplayers are getting so good at creating their costumes because it's like BATG cosplays, and it's like, no, it's just us.
Yeah, it was. I saw some obviously some cosplays from the weekend. It looked insane. Tao said he had an amazing first time at his PAX in an interstate con. That is amazing, bro, and I'm so glad that you had a great experience. Do you want to hear about my weekend, guys?
Sure.
It wasn't as exciting as
What
yours.
did you get up to?
Well, I built this thing for my microphone. I got the Cricut out, Tay, and I put the Geekazoid logo on the side there, and it's all the way around. So I'm hoping to bring that out very soon at some cons or some premieres, and we're going to get some Geekazoid content very, very soon.
Exciting.
Yeah, very, very exciting. And yeah, just getting back into the week, I guess. Teaching's gone back for me as well, and a lot of releases coming out tomorrow, as you guys are full aware from the last podcast we had. We've got a couple of games coming out tomorrow. Dragon Ball, The Breakers, and also No More Heroes is coming out tomorrow as well. So look, we better stop talking.
Game.
Yes.
Even though we didn't know about it till
last week, and
yeah.
I'm so excited that I can actually purchase it tomorrow. It's pretty exciting.
But will you play it?
I will actually, because it'll be on the PS5, so I'm curious to see how it performs on the PS5. Will I finish it? That's another story, because I already have, but I got to get it for the collection, that's all. Anyway, we better kick it over to trending topics, because there are a couple of cool things that we need to talk about. So, this is a segment that we like to call Trending Topics. All right, so the first thing up, this dropped, I think, over the weekend, or maybe last Friday, but this is Need for Speed Unbound, and I absolutely love the Need for Speed franchise, the video game franchise that is, and it hasn't really been in a good place of late. It's been really, I don't know, trying to find its feet, to be quite honest, and they tried to reboot it, just like a fresh story, and it was cool and all that, but like, it's really hard to do the Need for Speed franchise when you have like, I guess one of the best ones was Need for Speed Underground and Need for Speed Underground 2, because it was that underground culture, sort of like the Fast and the Furious, and from there they haven't really tried, well, not that they haven't tried, they've tried to take it to another world where it's like licensed street racing, like it was all like, I think that was Pro Street, and then they tried to do it with Undercover and all these other ones, but I think this is going to come back to where the foundations and what people really love about Need for Speed. As you can see with this, the art style just reminds me of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or Into the Spider-Verse, I should say, and also just that cel-shaded style, which is really, really cool. Also, they're doing the whole thing where they're bringing back, well, this guy right here, that's A$AP Rocky. They're bringing back some, I guess, hip-hop actors or like, you know, influencers into the video game to really push it along the line. So that's really cool. I cannot wait for this release. This actually comes out in December. Fizz, have you played a Need for Speed?
I have a question. Jaden, you're a bit of a hip-hop influencer with like your dance and everything. Are you part of the game and you're just not telling us?
Oh, I wish I was. I wish I had a car like that, right? When I was into the games and all that sort of stuff. My first car, it was a Mitsubishi Lancer, and I souped it up with a spoiler like that and wheels and all that. I went all out. I loved the Too Fast, Too Furious, and Tokyo Drift movies that came out from the Fast and the Furious franchise. We can see Abdullah saying, "Oh my god, huge fan of the Need for Speed series," and also Tab, Need for Speed Most Wanted still remains one of my childhood favorites. Fizzman, is Need for Speed something that you've played before, or something that you look at picking up?
Have definitely played before, and I kind of consider racing games to be my forte, like something I'm really good at. So I think when this comes out, we might have to do some Geekazoid challenges and see if that still lives up.
Okay, that's interesting. Tay, how about yourself? Do you delve in the racing car genre?
I have actually. I do play Need for Speed sometimes. It's one of those games that I pick up once in a blue moon, play 20 minutes of it, and then I put it back down. I do quite like it. I'm not very good at them, so I get over it very quickly. I crash too much. I promise I'm a good driver in real life, though.
Well,
Not in video games, it seems.
Well, I'm interested to see, like, the cars sort of look like they're realistic, and then there's that mix of, like, animation cel shaded into it. So it's a really interesting... Like, obviously, this is a clip that they've put together. This isn't gameplay footage at all. So it'll be interesting to see some gameplay and how they've mixed the two in together. I remember playing Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2 on the PC. What a memory of my childhood. Totally agree, Abdullah. And also, the last Need for Speed game I played was Rivals. Ooh, I'm trying to think if that was the last one that they released, or I'm pretty sure it was just Need for Speed was the last one that they had released. Anyway, you guys will find out for me, if not Fizzman. But speaking of Fizzman, you got some more Harry Potter content for us, Fizz.
I do. So, over the past 4 or 5 weeks, Warner Brothers and the Wizarding World have been releasing the designs for all the different ones that we could potentially get at the Magic Castle One experience. I want you to... I'm going to play this video first. So, it is episode 4 of Geekazoid. I don't understand why that's not playing.
That apparently they're creating
episode 4 of Geekazoid. It was when I first
upon further research
reported on it.
4 ones that are
so we're just gonna watch this video and I'm gonna switch back to the slide.
So you have Loyal for Hufflepuff, Heroic for Gryffindor, Defiant for Slytherin, and Honorable for Ravenclaw. They'll read.
Okay, so now we look at this. It's very yeah. So August 18th, my birthday. That episode. This is what the heroic wand looks like. Looks pretty sweet. And this is only a fan club exclusive. So if you're part of the Harry Potter fan club, you get access to buy this wand.
Oh.
But then the ones that are available to the public is the Defiant one. So
that's nice.
They're so pretty.
That one's sleek.
You have the Loyal wand.
Oh. That reminds me of the Jurassic Park, you know, Dr. Hammond, his the thing on the top of it. Anyway.
Honorable.
Oh, that's nice.
And
still think the first one's my favorite, I reckon.
The very first one that Fizz showed, or the
blue sleek one.
Yes.
With the blue light.
Can we go back to that one, Fizz?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, that one. Defiant. Yeah.
Defiant. That is nice. I do like that one too.
That is stunning.
So yes. So we have our 4 wand designs. You can also check them out. Unfortunately, you can't actually see what they look like because I actually have to use a VPN in order to get some of those images because it's only region locked to the UK and US because that's where you're able to purchase them.
Fizzman with the hookups. And the insider scoop.
But yeah, it's going to be working on... It's going to be compatible with your smart devices, so your Alexa, Google Home, and also there will be an app available, a smartphone app to do wand dueling and everything, which we already know about.
So cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Love that.
Tay, it sounds like this is something that you will be... I mean, I know it's hard to pick it up because you're going to have to know somebody overseas to be able to get it. Does seeing that Defiant one make you just go, "Ooh, yes, thank you"?
Absolutely. If I can get my hands on it, 100%. It just it depends on how much
Oh,
effort I'm
I'll
going to.
find the hookup for it.
Yeah, there we go. Fizzman's got my back. Well, then I will definitely be getting that one, I think.
I don't know if it's going to fit in with all your Star Wars Lego behind you, Tay. That looks
I know.
unreal. Your slave behind you, the R2 and the
Mm-hmm.
AT-AT. That's insane.
These are only about a quarter, maybe almost
No.
half of my collection as well. These are just like my bigger ones.
Yep.
And then I got these two up here, these little diorama ones. So the trash compactor and the Dagobah training over here. I made those ones today. Got them for my birthday. So that's honestly what I've been doing all day because of this horrible weather here in Melbourne. We've got flooding everywhere. So I did a nice indoor activity today, which was building those Lego sets.
Is there room for the Razor Crest?
There is. I will make room.
You will, I was going to say,
I will make room.
100%. Now, Tay,
I just
tell
need
us
to
about
save up
this.
the money to get it.
Yeah, I know, right? Tell us about this. This is something that you really wanted to talk about before. Whenever we pick our trending topics, I always go, guys, talk about whatever you want to talk about. And you mentioned that Madam Web, there was some set photos. Talk us through this, and we see somebody that we recognize, but with a different look.
Yes, so we've got Madam Web, which is from the Spider-Man comic book series. She is a clairvoyant mutant. And we have Sydney Sweeney here, who we recognize from Euphoria. She's going to be starring in it as well. Our main character, who is going to be Madam Web, is Dakota Johnson, from most commonly known from 50 Shades of Grey. We see her here in this red leather jacket. So these are the first set photos that we've gotten. They started filming, I think it was about June or July this year in 2022. But these are the first kind of photos that we've got, and it's only been in the last week that I've seen these. But this red jacket, it kind of pays homage to her looks in the comic books. Then we also have some other actors that you might recognize if we go back to the main photo there. We've got Adam Scott, who's in Parks and Recreation. And then we've got Emma Roberts as well. And yeah, a few other actors there. So I'm really excited for it. It's going to be like a female-focused movie. At first, I thought it was going to be a series, but I'm actually quite excited that it's actually going to be a movie. Yeah, I think it's going to be set in like the 2000s, I think. So about 20 years previously. I think it's being a clairvoyant. I'm sure that we're going to see some kind of predictions for the future, and I have a feeling, knowing Marvel, they're going to tie it all into what we've been seeing in the MCU in the last year or so. But yeah, I'm very excited. Do you guys know much about Madam Web?
I only know from what I've seen in the classic Spider-Man animated series from the 90s. That's really my first introduction to Madam Web. So I don't really know her sort of story arc or where it's going. So this is going to be totally, off. Like, to me, Madam Web is much older. So to see, her portrayed as a younger sort of character, I guess it's an origin story, and trying to figure out how everybody else fits into it as well. But
okay, do you want to know?
Yeah, tell me. Go
Adam
on.
Scott is playing Uncle Ben.
Oh, okay.
And
That is
Emma
nice.
Roberts is playing Mary Parker.
And this is obviously Peter's
Peter's
Peter
mum.
Yeah, but is Peter around? Is he born or
No, this is why I'm like, it doesn't feel like it would be in the 2000s, because you're looking at like when these feels very much of like a young, like it feels like they might be utilizing flashbacks, or it
Well,
might be set in another time.
Okay, because their fashion sense here doesn't say to me that this is like a 90s movie.
That's the thing. Like it feels, it's interesting how each of these characters come about. So, and like the only thing I know about Madam Web is from the Shattered Dimensions
game.
video game.
Yeah.
And also Sandra Bullock. A lot of people were wanting Sandra Bullock to play Madam Web, but an older version of her.
Huh, how interesting. Little weird guy also says that his knowledge is from the original Spider-Man animated series. I used to be scared of her every time she was on the screen. Mind you, I was like 4 or 5 at the time. She just freaked me out for some reason. But speaking about like being alternative, or an alternate dimension, we see this footage, and I thought that this was really interesting. I actually saw this footage or this photo on Facebook or Instagram, but then this tweet got me confused. It says that Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing Miles Morales, and we know that he's playing Kraven the Hunter, right? But apparently somebody reckons that this suit that he's wearing is the Miles Morales spider suit. I mean, you zoom in, it's just a blur. It doesn't really look like the Miles Morales suit, but in saying that, we don't know what's happening in terms of alternate dimensions, or who knows, maybe who knows?
According to further research, the film is probably going to be set in the 1990s.
There you go. Okay. But does this fashion sense? I don't know. Like, maybe it is.
It reminds me very much of Spice Girls. Like 90s, early 2000s fashion. That's what this reminds me of.
Okay, could be. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, what do I know about fashion? But yeah, okay, like, it could be right.
I would say this is like around like 97 to the 2000s. So yeah, it's a very small window, but yeah.
So if we do the math on that, if Spider-Man is meant to be 18 in the movies, or 18 or 19, plus the blip happened as well, but he didn't age. So I'm trying to figure this out in terms of the timeline. But then also, is this Tom Holland's timeline, or is this like Venom's, that sort of timeline?
They could throw something completely different in the mix. Yeah. They could be like, oh no, this is a universe we haven't heard before.
Yeah.
So Peter Parker's born in 2001.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So this is that late 90s. That's possible, but it sounds like. What's Peter Parker's dad's name? It's not James, is it?
No. Hold on.
Because I know you said Ben.
Yeah,
Parker,
Uncle Ben.
And then you got Mary.
Richard and Mary Parker are his parents.
Okay, there you go. So maybe she's going to meet Richard in this, and that's when they. I don't know. Who knows? It could. Because you're saying like the whole clairvoyancy take. It could be like a. We need to, I'm thinking Back to the Future. We need to make them meet because Spider-Man won't happen together.
Imagine.
That would be
a
really
cool
funny.
twist.
Does anybody want to add anything else to this before we move on to the next one?
No, I think that's it.
Oh, wicked. All right.
I'm hoping that I'm very interested in this tweet, this post here. It's confusing me so much. I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, I know. Well, what can you believe these days? Like, I guess anyone can play anyone now because the multiverse is happening. This is something I found really, really interesting. I'm not sure if it's something that I'm going to pick up, but Lego Table Football was announced a couple of days ago. But what is really, really interesting... Lego Table Football, I'll tell you this first. It's like the foosball game that you play, and you sit across the table from somebody and you turn the knobs and it kicks. But did you see just then, that character just then, that Lego... okay, so here we go. This is how you play. You chuck the Lego in there and you can interchange the players. And this set includes like yellow brick men and minifigs, but it's also got alternative colors as well. But just then, as we just saw that popped up on the screen, this is the first time that a Lego piece is getting a Lego character with vitiligo. This is the very first set that's going to happen to. And I don't know if it shows in the video, but there's also one of the Lego heads. It has like a hearing aid as well, which I think is the very first time that a Lego piece gets that as well. So this is really customizable in terms of this set. You can see that you've got the fans in the back and you've also got the characters in the front. Apparently there are 30 different heads that you get in this set, so you can interchange it as much as you want, and also wigs to match as well, so you really can customize your football team however you like. So this is really cool, and I think this is a really cool step that Lego has taken. And as I was saying before, yes, they do have yellow brick minifig heads and arms and all that sort of stuff, but as you can see in front of you here, there are, like, in terms of like representation, it's across the board, which is so cool. And it's really cool that Lego have introduced, a Lego character for everyone, which is really cool. Have you guys heard about this set before in the chat as well? If you guys are watching this live, I know Little Weird Guy says it's cool for Lego to be inclusive. 100%. Really, really cool. And maybe we'll be seeing this in future, like maybe Lego City packs or who knows. But Tay, you're a massive Lego fan. We can tell with your backdrop. How cool is this? And is this something that, is about time that Lego and maybe just toy brands in particular started doing this sort of thing?
Absolutely. I've seen some dolls. I'm not sure if but Barbie in general, they've been pretty inclusive lately. They've had disabled Barbie dolls, like wheelchair.
Yep.
They've had so many now. I love it. And I especially love watching I get pulled into all the TikToks when all these like really like young toddlers are going and seeing, these dolls in the shops that look like them. So I think absolutely, just like you said, it's about time. It's crazy that it's taken this long, but I'm so happy that with what they've done. It's really nice to see.
I mean, I don't think anyone was like, "Oh, Lego, oh, you haven't, inclusive and all that sort of stuff." But I think it's just, I think it's just a really cool touch, and it's like you just said, you can make a character that looks like you, which is great. Hopefully, we see that in video games. I know Fizz. Sorry, now we're going back to Hogwarts Legacy, but you said that was an option in Hogwarts Legacy.
Yep.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's insane. That's really,
I
really
also
any chance to talk about Hogwarts Legacy for me.
I've also been liking that they've making their Lego sets a lot more interactive. Like I feel like gradually, like they've always had little pieces that move, but gradually we're getting sets that you can actually play with a lot more, like has all moving parts. So I like that now they've got, something that's actually like a game. So it kind of gets me interested to see what they can come up with next. Because it'd be really cool. Like think about all the possibilities of having like these actual like interactive Lego games. Like now I'm thinking like Battleship and things like that. Imagine playing with that with all Lego. I would love that.
I know that there's a Harry Potter Lego set like this, the chess, but I'd love just like a really cool like high-end Lego chess set. It would be really, really cool. Fizz, we're going to throw it over to you now, buddy, because I saw this drop over the weekend and I'm a little bit confused about the concept. I remember them talking about doing like a Scooby-Doo adult version. Is this that? Is this what is this? Explain it to me.
So essentially, this is a new HBO Max series, Velma, that is focusing on Velma of the Mystery Inc. gang. As we see, the trailer pays homage to the Scream 1996 or 97, I believe, where the iconic scene of the call is coming from the killers in the house, and it's very like horror based. But I am excited for it because Mindy Kaling is actually voicing Velma, so we're not getting our typical say white actress playing it. We're actually
Caucasian,
getting some we're getting some Southeast representation, but also it has like a wide, like the cast is amazing. So you have Glenn Howerton as Fred, Constance Wu from Fresh Off the Boat as Daphne, and Sam Richardson from Hocus Pocus 2 as Norville, aka Shaggy. And we have Frank Welker, who's been part of the Scooby-Doo franchise since the beginning, who originally voiced Fred, but now Scooby. So he's going to be returning as the voice of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's going to be
So
very
cool.
much of an adult-themed look, like more of a focus on Velma.
Is this something that people were wanting, like in terms of like an adult Scooby-Doo? Is this, do you know, like, I mean, I love Scooby-Doo. I love the movies. I love the original Hanna-Barbera series. Growing up as a kid, loved it. I don't know. Like, I'm not salty on it at all. I'm just like, this. It's just an interesting choice, and to focus on Velma as well. Is it because she's just got so much like, I don't know, appeal on TikTok and in the cosplay community as well?
I think that's it. Like, I think, I mean, there's been a fandom that have always kind of like over-sexualized Scooby-Doo in a way.
True.
Like, when you think about like Halloween costumes and things like that, I mean, Halloween costumes, they over sexualize things most of the time. But I on TikTok, like you said, I've noticed a bunch of videos for Scooby Doo, and it hasn't really died down. It's always kind of pretty constant. But I agree. I thought it was an interesting choice to go with Velma, but I do see the appeal. Everyone's trying to be more inclusive now, so I think they went with the option of, like, that nerdy character, because she doesn't really get to shine much. I
Nose
think.
Rise.
Yes, we're taking
That's
over.
right. We're taking over.
It's so funny because Velma always used to be, growing up as a kid, my favorite character. I don't know why. And then also in the movies, I don't know, I gravitated towards the Velma character as well.
Did you know Linda Cardellini, who played Velma in the Scooby-Doo movie, plays Laura Barton in Hawkeye and the Avengers, and also
yes.
she was Chutney in Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Was she really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, that's
She looks
wild.
super young. Super young.
Yeah.
So look, I'm gonna watch it. I'm interested, but I'm wondering if this is like adult, as in like, is it like a Rick and Morty sort of adult based thing, like where is there going to be swearing? Is it like, I know that we just saw in that video before, like it got pretty bloody, but and I know that there was a still going around where you saw Daphne and she was like naked, but she was covering herself. Like they're really trying to push this like adult version, but like what is it? What makes it adult? Like that's, I don't know.
I
but
think
anyway.
It was just
So-
recently that they announced that Velma is lesbian now that she's into
yes.
girls. So I think that as well is kind of added on to all of this hype with Velma, because they've, because everyone has always suspected.
Well, yeah, that's right.
But now they finally made an episode where it was super obvious. So, but yeah, what were you going to think?
Something that the trailer really, like the way the trailer is, like as in paying homage to Scream, I feel like it's given me a lot of, it's the way that WandaVision was, where it's like taking different sitcoms or like these TV shows and adapting it to this. So I feel like that might also play a big part of it as well, because as we see in the trailer, we see a murder happen. We don't know who gets murdered, but we see a murder happen.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's look, keen to see it. I think it comes out. I know it comes out next year, early next year. We're not sure, but HBO Max, which I believe would be binge here in Australia.
Yep.
All right, we better throw it over to our last thing, Taylor.
Yes.
PlayStation Stars has officially hit Australia. Tell us a little bit more about it if you know anything about it.
So PlayStation Stars is you're going to have an app and you can collect collectibles. How do I say? Yeah, you earn unique digital collectible and rewards. You get points, and you'll have like a digital display case where you can show off all your trophies.
Yeah.
If you're a PlayStation Plus member, here we go. You've got extra perks for PlayStation Plus members. You can exchange your points that you get for redeemable like money for like your PSN wallet funds. So you can actually earn points, like play games. You can finish campaigns, and you'll get a trophy. You'll earn points, and you can put that towards buying a game. So I think this is a great idea. Great incentive to get people to start using the app more, because I feel like not a lot of people use or utilize the PlayStation app as much as they can be. So if you're not using the PlayStation app on your phone, use it. It is very, very helpful. You don't have to go through all these other different settings. And now we're going to have a cool collectibles program. There's going to be 4 levels. So the more points you get and the more trophies you're getting, the higher levels you go, and you'll get more unique collectible items. Fizzman, do you want to add to
Using
that?
the PlayStation app can't relate at all.
No. Well,
That's
sorry
right.
about that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
What I love
what I love about this, I guess, you don't have to pay for it. This is something that if you have the PlayStation app, you basically have it at your fingertips. I guess just update it. Like you said, you get collectibles every month. There's new collectibles. it's almost like it's to me it's almost like a social media sort of platform for PlayStation where you can show off your collectible cabinets. I guess they're going to get people to use the app more often, but it's like whatever collectibles are out this month, you've only got this month to get those digital rewards. And if you miss out this month, well, you miss out, and I guess you'll have to trade. I'm not sure if trading is an option now, but I'm assuming later on, like, there might be a No More Heroes figure or something like that. And if you don't get it, you have to trade with someone, and, you know, it's all that sort of stuff. And if you're a PS Plus member, you get more exclusive. So I was meant to jump on it before we got onto the podcast because I wanted to test it out, but definitely after this, I'm going to. And if you don't have the PS app, you can download games from your phone and it will connect straight to your PlayStation at home. So like if you're at work and you're like, oh yeah, I want to play this game, you can hit download. Your PlayStation back home, if it's connected to the internet, will turn on. It will start loading the game in, and when you get home, it is ready to play. That's the app is fantastic. Yeah, definitely.
So
check
I
it out.
think it's safe to say that Jaden definitely didn't get any collectibles this month because he barely plays his PlayStation.
Well, this service just started today, man, so I'm going to be jumping on tonight to do that, so I don't miss out this month.
We'll see. We'll see.
But I'll probably miss out on November and December, to be quite honest, because it's just a hectic time of the year. That is cool. Let us know in the comments below if this is something that you guys are going to be getting. I know Ab says he's finally signed up already onto the PS app, which is awesome. Let us know if you are as well. And let us know what your PlayStation username is, because I'd love to add you, and I'm sure Tay will do the same, and we can play each other eventually when I log on myself. That's going to wrap it there for the trending topics. Very good, guys. A wide range of stuff that's coming out, which I love to see. But we're going to take a really, really short break now because, well, you know what? Captain Fizzman, you do the honors.
So we are heading over to my variant, Captain Fizeman, who is delivering this week's trivia question. So get ready.
Geekazoid.
What is up, everyone? It is Captain Fizeman here, Captain Fizzman's variant here to deliver you this week's trivia, and in honor of our lovely effervescent host Taylor, as her birthday this week, I am doing a trivia all about Star Wars. So Tay, there are no excuses. You better get all of these right, because I'm doing this just for you. As always, make sure to interact in the comments with your answers, and we'll highlight them if you have any one of them right. Are you guys ready? Are your thinking caps on? If they are, get ready, because this is where the fun begins. Okay, question 1. What is the name of the Ewok that Leia befriends? Once again, what is the name of the Ewok that Leia befriends? Do you think you know it? Okay, question 2. In what system would you find the small planet of Mustafar? Once again, in which system or in what system would you find the small planet of Mustafar? And then finally, our final question. In Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Greez references a pointy-eared, green-haired, legendary Jedi Master. Who is he referencing? Once again, in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Greez references a pointy-eared, green, legendary Jedi Master. So, who is he referencing? Make sure to interact in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys very soon for the answers.
Geekazoid.
Oh,
I love that. Thank you, Fizzman. I am going to be very embarrassed if I get these wrong. Hey! Number one fan. I love it.
Hold on. We have spam block.
that's all right. Oh, did you block it? Fantastic.
Yes.
We're getting popular now. We're getting spam. That's when you know you've made it.
Mom, we did it. We have spam bots.
All right, Tay, I'd be very disappointed if you didn't get the first one right.
The first one's the only one I'm confident in. The second one, I'm almost feel like I've got it right. The third one, I feel like it's a trick question. It seems too obvious for me, so I feel like it's a trick question. So I think I've got that one wrong.
I think I've got 2 out of the 3. The Mustafa one's confusing me a bit because you said the Mustafa. Sorry, what
system would you find the small planet of Mustafa in?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's confusing me because I thought. Anyway, I'm not going to talk because I might wreck it for somebody. But we better move on. But if you know the answers to Fizzman or Captain Fizzman's trivia questions, let us know in the comments. We want to see how well you know your pop culture. And if you're listening to this on the train or driving or wherever you are in podcast form, have a think. Delve. Don't pick up your phone and go onto Google and to try it out. We really want you to test this out. And of course, if you missed the trivia questions this week, you can always join us on our Instagram for the Reels, where Captain Fizzman is dominating the Geekazoid Reels every week with the questions and the answers. All right. We're going to move right along to this next category topic. We didn't know actually what to talk about this week because we've got a list long of things that okay, Little Weird Guy, you have written exactly what I think it is. I'm not going to share it on the screen, but that's what it's confusing me because I'm like, anyway, I'm not going to talk about it. If you want to know what Little Weird Guy said, you're going to have to find it on YouTube. Okay, so last week we were like, what are we going to talk about this week? And everyone was like, well, how about we just watch the movies that we haven't watched before and we will pick
Jaden, trying to get Jaden to watch Anastasia.
Yeah, this is really all just a ploy to get you to watch Anastasia finally. We needed an excuse.
Which it worked. And so I picked a movie for Tay picked a movie for Fizz picked a movie for me. And of course, all his 3 options was Anastasia. So I'm going to kick things off because I feel like I'm the only person in this, well, I am the only person in this chat that hasn't watched Anastasia, unless you guys are tuning in and you haven't watched it before. But Anastasia. And the funny thing is that I've heard about this movie plenty of times before. It's a 20th Century Fox production back in 1997 or 1998. I think Tay said that was in Australia. I remember seeing this movie. I remember watching this as a kid, but I don't think I actually watched the whole thing. And I think my sister was watching it, and I would just watch it like on VHS, and I would just watch it off her shoulder. Happy to say I watched it. It's on Disney Plus, and it was a really, really good movie to watch. I enjoyed it. I thought the music was fantastic. The storyline, I'm not really familiar with the Russian lore of Anastasia and how she grew up and that whole backstory. I tried to look at some YouTube videos to see how accurate it was, but I just ran out of time by the time they got to it. But yeah, really a really good late 90s film. Definitely a contender for what Disney was doing at the time, for sure. The songs were great. I did mention that before. But I know why, as a kid, that I didn't like it. And I can only think that the animation style and the color scheme isn't as vivid as Disney movies. So at the time, I was loving, like, you know, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King. These are all movies around like that 90s era, the Renaissance era. And when you look at the tones used in this film, and this is not a bad thing, I'm just saying, why didn't I enjoy this as a kid? But you can see that the tones are really pastel, they're darker. I guess it's really showing off the period. Like that, it was a grittier time in Russia, and then when they travel over to Paris, it gets a bit more colorful and flamboyant with the color palette. But you never really see, you know, blues being like, you know, royal blues, or reds being like red. It's all like a shade, you know, to, I guess, really depict the time.
It's
Every
got like
time
that cool tone filter on it.
Yes. And also, oh my goodness, I don't know how you guys weren't scared of this as a kid, watching the scene with
I was.
why am I forgetting his
Rasputin,
name?
when he
Rasputin. I was thinking of that Boney M song. I'm like, what's Rasputin? Yeah. Rasputin. When he gets
Terrifying.
possessed, or when he gets sells his soul, and you see his skin get ripped off him, and he's just a skeleton. And right at the end as well, I was like, wow, this definitely isn't a Disney movie. But the voice acting was fantastic. I love the animation style. Also, I freaked out in the first minute because, as we know yesterday, if you're following the news, Angela Lansbury, Angela Lansbury,
Yeah.
she voiced the grandmother in this. And as soon as I heard her voice at the beginning of this, I was like, oh, that's her. Because obviously on TikTok and everywhere you can just hear her voice. I just saw instantly of the Beauty and the Beast, Mrs. Potts, and
Yeah.
also Bed Knobs and Broomsticks as
Bed
well.
Knobs and Broomsticks. That was my
Yes.
favorite.
And Natasha was telling me yesterday that she grew up watching this movie called Mrs. Santa Claus, and she plays like the female. I guess she's Santa Claus's wife, and it's about like how she helps out for Christmas, but nobody really acknowledges her. And it's an older film, so we're gonna watch that this Christmas for sure. But oh, it's saying go get your tickets now, guys. Do not get your tickets now because it's definitely not out. But
But go and
But-
watch it.
Definitely go watch
oh,
it.
go watch it. It's an easy watch. It's an hour and a half. It's fantastic. The visuals are beautiful. Like the animation that they use for this is very reminiscent. Like there's a lot of 3D. You can tell that that's the way that they were going, because I know in Aladdin, it's nothing new because Aladdin had it with the Cave of Wonders, Beauty and the Beast had it with the big ball dance scene. But they use it a lot in this film, and it's breathtaking how they combine, you know, that 3D animation with the 2D animation as well. Songs are great. I said that before. And there was a game
But
growing
it
up.
is very true. The songs are
Oh,
incredible.
And the main song, I can't remember what the main song is now, but I had
Once
heard
Upon
that
a
song.
Dream.
Once Upon a December.
Once Upon a December. That's what it is.
Yeah.
No, but
Once
there's one
Upon a
that
Dream
she,
is Aurora.
there's one where she breaks. So that's the one that they sing at the beginning, right? But then there's a song later on with the dog. I can't remember the dog. Is that Once Upon a
Oh,
Dream?
when she wants to go to St. Petersburg and she's like,
Yes.
the heart don't fail me now.
Yes,
one?
that one. That one.
Mm.
I've heard that so
Journey.
many times.
Journey to our past. Journey
Okay.
to my past.
I've heard that so many times at Dancer Stedfords because they'll use it as a lyrical or
It was
whatever
always
like that.
contemporary.
Yes, yes. So that's why I was like, I've heard this song plenty of times
Yeah.
before. Adela says, beautiful movie. I have seen it. Great movie. Yes, Angela Lansbury is in it. R.I.P.
So sad.
100%. But yeah, this is great. And sorry, just before we throw it over to, I believe Taylor is next. But the funny thing is, you know how I was saying before that the art style, not that I wasn't a fan of, but as a kid, I didn't gravitate towards it. There was a game that I grew up with that I played on the PC, and it's called Broken Sword. And the art style is eerily the same in terms of like the artwork in the back there and the sort of the tones. And this is like a detective movie where you have to sort of collect the clues, put them together, and figure out who the killer is. So you can see this art style here. I played this in the 90s, in 1995, 1996. I played this with my sister. We would sit around our Windows 95 and we would play this game on CD-ROM. And you can see the art style is eerily similar, and even the character here, George Stobart, looks really, really close to Dimitri in this movie, just with different color hair.
It kind of reminds me of a Barbie detective game that I used to play on the computer.
Oh, really?
It was like very similar. Like you just got to walk around and pick up clues and everything. It was a similar kind of aspect, but Barbie was a little bit later than this one.
Well, this is called Broken Sword, the Knight Templars, and it's got a lot of history in it, like actual accurate history. And then they try and weave in like some cult in the background, and like it's really, really cool. You can get it on Steam. You can get it for a steal on Steam, and there's about 5 games in the franchise, so definitely check that out. And sorry, just before I throw it over to you, Tay, where is he again? What's his name? Why am I
Rasputin.
Rasputin?
Rasputin. You cannot tell me that he doesn't look like Jafar, but you know Jafar
He
in the
does.
cell where he gives like Aladdin, like, you know, he tells him to go to the Cave of Wonders.
Yeah.
It's the art style
100%.
there. I was like, all I could see was Jafar in this scene, but in all the scenes that he was in. Anyway, loved it. Thank you so much for the recommendation. I highly recommend everyone watch it as well. And just a great story and how it finishes as well. I love the fact that Anastasia was the one to. Am I allowed to spoil it? I'm sure I am.
I
This is
think
like
it's
20 years
been
old.
long enough.
I love the fact that Anastasia was the one to end, you know, Rasputin, and it didn't require a male to do it, because the male is he doesn't have like Dimitri doesn't have any more powers than what Anastasia has, and I just love the fact that she was the one to do it. So I can understand why a lot of people love it and how it ends at the end as well. I think that was a really cool touch that I actually didn't see coming. Yeah, great. Sorry, Terry just chimes in and says Broken Sword is a great game series, and also Anastasia, the Disney movie that is not a Disney movie. 100%. Everyone thinks it's a Disney movie. Apparently, she doesn't have a choreo.
It is now.
But I don't know if it is. It's funny, actually. Let's keep talking about this. I don't know if it is, only because it's actually based on a true royal family.
So it's still Disney did do that actual induction thing to be yes, it is now a Disney movie. She's now a Disney princess. So they did that thing.
Not
to make it
an official Disney princess.
So,
They
but they're saying
they had it at an event that they did say that she was a
How
princess.
recently?
last year.
Because
Yeah, that's a
2020
year ago.
still has it. As,
Yeah, it was about- I was going to say 6 months to a year ago. Because we mentioned it briefly on one of the earlier podcasts.
We
Because I did
probably
I
mentioned
did some
it.
prep work for it somewhere.
We mentioned it when we said underrated movies, and Tay, I think you mentioned that this was your underrated movie, and I was literally about to say deja vu. We've had this conversation before.
we
But,
definitely have. But yeah, no, so it's loosely based off the
Yes.
royal family. There is almost no truth to it at all. This is a very fictional fantasy version, pretty much just based on the names of the Russian family.
Right.
But I wanted, as soon as you told me that you weren't interested in it because of the color scheme, it just proves my point even further that your pick for me was Speed Racer, and I totally understand now why you went into Anastasia for the color scheme, and
How
I know
funny.
why you always try and bring up Speed Racer or Scott Pilgrim. I
Sure, yeah.
understand now. It makes so much sense that you need those bright colors to reel you in. You
Just
need
want
the big flashing lights and the comic
Oh.
book stuff.
Yes.
I actually thoroughly enjoyed this. I got to be honest, I was a little hesitant and I was a little bit of a naysayer beforehand. I was like, I don't think I'm going to like it. But I definitely enjoyed it. This is what I watched while I built my Legos. And it took me so long to do them because I was like, oh.
Yeah.
The twist at the end as well, I thought I had it in the bag being like, yep, I know what's happening. And then I got just so confused about the brother. I was like, yeah, I know. But I didn't know. It turns out I did know. It was a wild ride.
Yes. 100%. Look, you can have spoilers in here, but Fizz, I know you haven't watched it, but obviously,
I've seen the cartoon though,
so the movie.
but I haven't actually seen the movie.
So the movie is the twist at the end is different from the animated series, right? So
Okay.
it's interesting how they have Racer X, and then you also got his brother, and it's like they're meant to be the same person, right? But in this movie they cast two people to play Speed's brother and Racer X, and then they answer how that's possible at the end, which is pretty wild. And like I said before, this was marketed as a
Time
kids-
travel. That's the twist.
That there's no time travel in this.
It's always
but
the answer.
yeah, but
Variants. Doppelgangers.
or
Clones.
a facelift. So yeah, and literally and only the Wachowskis can do that. The directors of the Matrix series and Jupiter Ascending, they could only do this movie justice. But you can see the art style. There's a lot of CG in it. This movie was marketed to kids, and it definitely this movie would go over the top of kids' heads, right, Tay? Besides Spritle and the monkey and all that, but. Yeah, here we go. Terry's like Speed Racer is better on the big screen. Terry is like, he's just like a sponge for pop culture. He just knows all these obscure movies and games, and he just is. We should have him on the pod one time because I'm sure that Fizz, I reckon Terry could give you a run for your money in terms of knowledge on pop culture. He's
Okay. I mean, if we want to throw the gauntlet down, then sure, let's do it.
a challenger worthy of Fizzman. And also, Abdullah says, seen Speed Racer since your childhood childhood cartoon show, I should say. Terry laughs at that too. So, Tay,
I was
thoughts?
surprised with Chris. Yeah, I was surprised that Christina Ricci was in it.
Yeah.
Richie, yeah. I had no idea, so that one was a nice surprise. as also I actually haven't seen her in a role like that before. I don't know, it threw me off a little bit. Like I haven't seen her, I don't know, she felt more like bubbly in most films that I have seen her in, and it was strange, but I loved it. I'm sad that I hadn't watched it sooner. I definitely enjoyed it. I wanted to be a little bit picky and be like, it was okay, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I agree with you. The bright colors, it reels you in.
Yeah, especially when you got
so
on the
does
big
the pet
screen.
chimp, because I've always wanted a pet chimp. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't like a bit of monkeying around? And also when Terry said better on the big screen, 100% Blu-ray on this thing. I would love for this thing to be on 4K. I don't think it's going to happen, but you can always dream, right? Fizz, we better throw it over to your trivia questions before we get to you for your last movie. And can everyone, like, I know you're doing your trivia questions, but can everyone have a guess at what movie one of the movies that Tay recommended to Fizz, man? Have a guess. You are not going to guess it. Trust me. I was like, wow, I haven't heard about that movie in such a long time. So have a guess, guys. Have a guess. Unless you've got a sheet of paper that we have, you wouldn't have any idea. But Fizz, man, cue the questions or the answers of your trivia stuff. Go for it, buddy.
Priya, how do you think you all went? Do you guys think you got 2 out of 3, 1 out of 3, 3 out of 3? Tay, I'm looking directly at you.
I know one of them 100%. The second one, I'm 50-50. Third one, no, I don't think I got the third one right just because I'm so stressed that it's a trick question. So I have 2 answers. I have 2 answers written down.
Okay. Yeah, the last one I'm not sure of, but and also Terry goes Caravan of Courage. No, it's not that, but that is a wild. That's such a boring movie. But anyway, do you know what movie it is?
It was hard to find one. It was hard to find one.
Yes.
For me to pick with Fizzman, because we have such similar tastes in movies.
Well, that's right. You were like this movie tastes, and Fizzman's like, come on, Tay. You know I've already watched it.
Because like I would usually go for like some sort of musical, but Fizzman's got my back with the musicals, and he already likes them. So it was super tricky to find one that I loved, but he may have not have watched. So
how funny! All right, Fizzman, let's do it. I'm keen to find out the answers.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Geekazoid.
What is up, everyone? Do you think you got all those questions correct? Tay, I'm looking at you because you are our Star Wars expert. So, Tay, looking at you directly. Anyways, it is time to find out the answers to this week's trivia questions. Okay, question 1. What is the name of the Ewok that Leia befriends? It is Wicket. Okay, question 2. In what system would you find the small planet of Mustafar? The answer is Mustafar. And then finally, our final question. In Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Grease references a pointy-eared green legendary Jedi Master. Who is he referring to? He is of course referring to Master Yaddle! Did you think it was Yoda? I think a lot of people thought that. Anyways, how did you guys go? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, make sure to follow Geekazoid on all our social media platforms. And make sure to follow me, Captain Fizzman or Captain Fizzman, on all my social media platforms. I'll see you guys next week for a brand new trivia. Bye for now.
Geekazoid.
Oh, you're tricky, Fizzman. You're very tricky. Tay,
No, because okay. Sorry, Tay, go.
No, I was going to say the second one I was confused at because obviously it was Mustafar. So I was like, they do refer to it as the Mustafar system, but some of them are always also known as the Atravis system.
Yes.
Like
That's
there's like
the
multiple
sector.
planets.
That's
the
That's the sector.
Yeah, so I didn't know the difference between a sector and a system, so I was just like, "Yep, it's one or the other." But I did when with the trick question I knew it wasn't going to be Yoda, so I knew it had to be Yaddle.
There we go.
I knew it.
Everybody give her a big round of applause, Taylor. It not only is it a birthday week, but there you go. You get a banana for getting all that right as well. I got definitely 2 out of 3. The third one, I was like, I haven't played the game, first of all, which is shame on me. What sort of Star
You need
Wars
to
fan
play it.
am I?
It's a good
so
game.
good.
Oh, I'm
So good.
Well, I'm keen because I know
Wasted
that
so
they're
many
doing a
hours on
sequel.
Play it before the sequel comes out.
I will. Sorry, I noticed that I put up Tao's questions are there. He goes, I wouldn't even know for Yaddle instead of Yoda. True, they're very
Because
similar.
like in
but
the game, they actually Cal Kestis, who is the main protagonist, actually says Yoda is like, no, Master Yaddle.
Oh, okay. Well,
Everyone
So
forgets
actually
about
use
Yaddle.
that reference.
I just go, oh, you know
Yaddle
what?
was
they're-
literally in the Phantom Menace.
Yes, he's a background character, right? But I was more
She.
like
She.
she. Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Master Yaddle's a she.
Oh, there you go. Learned something new today. But I know how like they like to try and connect Star Wars, and I'm like, oh, this is how they've connected it by bringing Yoda into it. Anyway, well done. Let us know how you went in the comments below. I'm assuming Terry got all 3 right based off the hand clap. I'm assuming. Let us know, Terry. But Fizzman, we better throw it over to you before this podcast goes longer than what it needs to. The movie that you were meant to watch. Oh, Terry says
Terry
no.
didn't get all 3.
Oh, let us know which one you got wrong, Terry. But Fizzman, before I pop it up on the screen, what was the movie that you got given to watch?
Well, as Tay says, that we have very similar movie tastes, so it was a bit of a tricky one for me. But the movie that I watched was called Mighty Joe Young, and it would have been a really good segue when we were talking about monkeying around because Joe is a literal gorilla, and pretty much it's a Disney movie, so it's around that realm, produced and released by the Walt Disney Studios. And the thing about Disney is that it makes you really feel for the animals. Like you root for them. Like you don't care about the humans. You're always caring more about the animals. And I actually
100%.
love that. It does have a focus on poaching and the whole poaching of animals in African countries and everything. But essentially, the plot is that Jill Young, who is played by Charlize Theron as an adult, her mother dies at the same time as Joe's mother dies. So they both become orphans together, and so they're essentially lifelong companions. And so she has hidden Joe from the real world until Greg O'Hara, played by Bill Paxton, comes to her land, and it's like she essentially takes Joe to California, where he goes in a reserve, and the antagonists are poachers who essentially killed Joe and Jill's mothers, which you'll see in the film. Definitely go watch it. It's a really good film. And
Who knew?
So,
Sorry, Fizz, I'm going to say, who knew in 2022 a podcast would be talking about Mighty Joe Young? Let us know in the comments if this is something that you've seen. But yeah, sorry, keep going. Keep going.
So they find out that Joe is alive, and they go basically to California to basically get revenge on Joe and essentially take him back to their conservation, and basically kill Joe for revenge for basically biting off the main poacher's thumb.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw Abdullah's comment just there, and he is it's almost pretty spot on. It is a similar kind of story to King Kong, that this gorilla is way above average in size. So there are obviously people who want to protect him, but then there are also people who want to exploit him. So it's a very similar thing to King Kong, and it turns out that you see all the mayhem that happens when he's brought into like a city into a place where he doesn't belong. It's not his natural habitat. And so obviously things go awry. But yeah, pretty similar to King Kong, but in a much more
Family friendly,
heartfelt
wholesome
way.
movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very wholesome. This would be
Yeah,
something
sure.
I'd like watch with my mum if it was a Saturday and not at school. This would be like the midday movie that we'd put on.
So
How
speaking of Saturday midday, as I was watching that, like those films where they feel like a fever dream and you can't actually remember if you've seen them or not. I think I've seen this before, but like in snippets, because it would play like those Disney movies that would play like at middays on Saturdays on like Channel 7. I
Seven,
feel like
exactly.
this was
Yeah.
one of them, and I'm like, I recognize this film, but like if you had asked me the title, like I wouldn't even know until like I had rewatched it again.
Channel 7, I'm pretty sure it's Channel 7. They used to do this thing where they used to have 2 movies on a Saturday. I don't know if they do that these days anymore.
No,
but
they don't
used
do
to
it
ha-
anymore.
Right, so they used to have like a family-friendly movie that started at like 6 o'clock or something like that, and then they would have like a blockbuster movie that would start at 8.
Oh yeah, no, I thought you were referring to at midday. No, they still do it for like the 6 p.m. and the 7 p.m. But they do it on 7 Mate, not Channel 7.
Okay, right. So they'll do it like on a go or something like
Yeah.
okay, but before we had digital TV, it was like Channel 7, Channel 9, and Channel 10. Or if you had Fox. But I just remember like Mighty Joe Young. That was the first time watching it, and it was like I can't remember what movie was after it, but we as a family watched Mighty Joe Young. Maybe not as a family. Maybe it was just my sister and I watched Mighty Joe Young, and then as a family we watched the next movie, which whatever it was. But yeah, they used to be great, but now we're so spoilt for content and when we can watch it and how we choose to watch it as well. Yeah, we're so lucky. Wait,
are.
are we lucky or are we like? This is a Black Mirror episode, to be quite honest. But let us know if you've seen Mighty Joe Young in the comments, and also if you're listening to this via podcast, definitely jump over to our socials and let us know as well. Is there anything else you guys want to add to the Mighty Joe Young topic in 2022? No doubt.
No, it's one that's lasted. Like I can still watch it to this day, and it still gives me the same warm feeling that it did however many years ago. I still the little lullaby that Joe's mother used to sing to her, and that they used to sing to Joe. It still goes in my head frequently. It's another good one. I'm always songs stick into my head the most. So as soon as there's a cute little song that I can sing along to, I'm hooked.
Oh, beautiful. All right. Well, we're going to probably wrap it up there. What's the plans for the weekend, guys? What we got going on?
Well,
Tay, Tay or Fizz? Who am I throwing this to? I should know this.
Take us first.
Tay, let's go.
I'm going to go out for my birthday, so I'm going to stay in the city and kind of do a bunch of activities, really. I've got some vouchers for some indoor skydiving. Might do like an escape room, some axe throwing.
Yes.
Who knows? Just going to do a bunch of those fun little stuff. Well, I was originally going to go paintballing, but with the weather, it's just too unpredictable. So we're going to do lots of indoor activities, and it's going to be very fun.
Awesome.
What about
And
you,
people
Fizz?
Tay, but just really quickly, if people
Yes.
want to see you and your action over the weekend, where can they follow you on your socials?
Yes, great idea. You can follow me on Instagram at the Tay Hamilton or Miss Marvelous, which is AUS at the end. Same as on TikTok, Miss Marvelous. I will be posting lots of stories over the weekend. And yeah, don't forget to follow us on Geekazoid too on all our channels. We've got YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Follow us all there, and make sure you interact with us as well, and we can get you guys a part of the show too. All right, Fizz, I'll chuck it over to you now.
Well, I was good. Chuck it over to J-Rod first.
Oh, man.
What are the plans for your weekend?
Good question. I know that... What is this weekend? I've got to work. I've got a show on this weekend, so I'm going to be singing in a band this weekend. And then I guess trying to catch up on content, to be quite honest. I've got to make sure that this all works for Wednesday. I managed to get an invite to Black Adam.
Ooh,
so
have I in the Melbourne one.
No way. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to be getting ready for that and hopefully capturing some content at the Black Adam premiere. And yeah, I guess that's it. Like, just catching up on content. I got to get all the Geekazoid socials caught up and also my socials as well. And this is just test at this bad boy. And if you guys want to follow my adventures this weekend, if I'm going to share any of them, it's at JRod_HD on Instagram and TikTok as well. I've been trying to upload every single day on TikTok to get that horse riding. So definitely check me out over there. Do you know what? Sorry, just really quickly. Isn't it interesting. A video that you can spend so much time on prepping for and edit and posted, it won't perform as well as a video that you're just like, oh yeah, there's a couple of birds at my window, I'm just going to film it, and then you chuck that up, and that performs a lot better than any
Look at
other
all
video.
those chickens.
Yes. Oh, that's the audio I should have used. But there was these birds at my window. We filmed it, and it's nearly got 1 million views on my TikTok. So go figure. Fizzman, we're not going to see you next week live.
I might make a special guest appearance. Who knows?
But tell us what you got planned this weekend and what's happening next Thursday.
Well, first of all, before I talk about my weekend, make sure to tune into the Geekazoid YouTube channel for the Lego Brawlers video that is dropping.
Oh, yes, good shout.
Yes.
You can get a little bit of a teaser on that on the Geekazoid Instagram at the moment. There's a couple of highlights from it, but definitely check it out. There's going to be a follow-up on that very, very soon. But yes, go.
Yeah.
Good shout.
And then, nothing planned for the weekend. Probably just catching up on any nerdy content, any like TV shows and all that stuff. Actually,
Mighty Joe Young 2, the movie.
if I can, there isn't a sequel that I
I
found.
don't think so. Rampage.
And then also, preparing and getting supplies for next Thursday.
Are we allowed? You're allowed to say what's happening next Thursday, right?
They'll find out at the episode.
Oh, okay. Or you can follow Fizzman's socials as
You
well.
can
I'm
follow
sure
me,
you'll
yeah.
find out his journey there. So Tay, even though Fizzman will be joining us in some capacity on that day, and especially with his trivia questions, but it looks like it's just going to be you and me. So maybe we might have to make it a Black Adam review episode.
yes.
Maybe that might be the way to
Absolutely.
go. All right, guys. Well, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much.
You can also follow me everywhere at Captain Fizzman. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, Be Real, Vero, TikTok.
Everything. Do it there. Follow Geekazoid live everywhere as well. Thank you so much. Leave a review on the podcast. Even if you don't need to listen to the podcast, just download it anyway and give us a review. It helps out the algorithm, as you are aware, because we are all nerds here. And Fizzman, how about we sign off?
Yes. Thank you everyone for tuning in to this week's episode of Geekazoid. Make sure to tune in every Thursday at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, where we bring you the latest round of geeky news. As always, make sure to always follow the socials and always remember to keep geeking out.
Keep geeking out. See you guys. Thanks again for
Bye.
joining.
Bye, guys.